Hello. Thanks for taking the time to join me this evening as we talk about marriage preparation and supporting the growth of love. What I'm going to talk about this evening is really based on Pope Francis's Post-Synodal Apostolic exhortation called Amoris Laetitia, the joy of love. So we want to spend some time this evening discussing the joy of love, but in the context of marriage preparation. It's really something that the two synods on the family spent a lot of time discussing, but really didn't get a lot of talk about in the media. And so we want to take some time tonight as the Catholic Apostolate Center to really share this with you. I'm Father Frank Donio of the Palatine Fathers and Brothers. I'm the director of the Catholic Apostolate Center, and I really appreciate your taking the time to be with me this evening. Pope Francis asks that we need to help young people discover the dignity and the beauty of marriage. Now, that discovery doesn't just suddenly happen. It's something that really is an accompaniment. It's something that we accompany people, and as a priest of 22 years, I've accompanied a lot of couples in their preparation to marriage, and then also in their preparation for the celebration of marriage, and then afterward, sometimes even when problems and difficulties occur. And that's where marriage preparation and good marriage preparation really can help in a very big way. If we look at really the importance of grounding marriage preparation in two things, Pope Francis reminds us to be grounded in the virtues. So we have the theological virtues of faith, hope, and charity, and the fruit of charity, of joy, of peace, and of mercy. And then also the cardinal virtues, prudence, temperance, fortitude, justice. These virtues really prepare people to live marriage well. But also, when we discuss them and spend time with them and really meditate on them and reflect on them in prayer, it gives an opportunity for people to grow more deeply in those virtues and to live them, because that's really the best way, is to live them. The other part of it is also that it's an initiation, similar to a Christian initiation. That's the way we need to see marriage preparation. We're initiating people through this process into marriage, and it's not just before and just the ceremony, but it's an accompaniment that happens afterward. Just like we accompany people from baptism to Eucharist, confirmation, and the preparation for the sacraments in this way, but also as they grow in faith, it has to happen in a variety of places. And it can't just simply be catechesis. It needs to be something that will move people forward, will move them to something more, will move them to a greater opportunity to grow and to change. When we look at that, we don't need to be caught in the catechism. We need to just simply do quality preparation. So it's not just simply catechesis. It needs to be more than just catechesis. It needs to be an accompaniment that is a quality accompaniment. So we don't really want to overwhelm people with information. We want them to encounter Jesus. We want it to be an opportunity for them to, as Pope Francis says, to really see it as a proclamation of the kerygma. Now, what does that mean? It means that Jesus is the incarnate Son of God, the Word who became flesh, that He lived our lives, that He died for us, that He rose again, ascended to the Father in glory, and now continues, has sent us the Spirit, and that's continued and permeates through the life of the church. And that encounter that a person needs to have in and through the church of Jesus Christ. So it needs then really to be a preparation with courage and generosity. Because learning to love someone, Pope Francis says, doesn't begin automatically, nor can it be taught in a workshop just prior to the celebration of marriage. For every couple, marriage preparation begins at birth. Now, that may be a little bit startling to people, but I found that in families that have really lived faith, because when people are baptized, especially if they're baptized, particularly baptized as infants, the parents are told, you are the first teachers in the ways of the faith. So be the best of teachers. So that teaching really does need to occur in the family. But it needs to occur also in the community of faith, because some people will come to faith as adults, some people will come to the faith, return to the faith on their own, when maybe they've been away, maybe their families have not practiced the faith. And so we need to have that schooling really in preparing for what is a life commitment, a sacramental commitment. Preparation of engaged couples then begins with the community. So we have that accompaniment, the encounter, and now here's this communion, this community that's helping the couple be able to move forward. And couples really need to detect any danger signals in the relationship, and define before the wedding effective ways of responding to them. Because, I found that when people have come for marriage preparation, one of the challenges is that they may not think a lot about some of the things that are challenges that could be there. There could be differences in the way faith is lived, could be differences in the way family life is lived. It might be around finance. It might be around some challenges with somebody who might have an addiction or some difficulty. And it might be just simply covered over, and the thinking is that just love alone, meaning love that is not permeating and united with Christ, that somehow that's going to just simply change things. And it won't necessarily change things. What changes things is truly giving over to one another and living out the marital commitment. But if there are danger signals, it needs to be looked at before the marriage, particularly before the marriage. Both short-term and long-term marriage preparation should ensure that the couple doesn't view the marriage ceremony as the end of the road. Sometimes people just see, okay, I'm preparing for marriage, I'm going to have this ceremony, and that's it. And then I'm going to be good from there. It's really the beginning. It's the beginning of a lifelong process of deeper formation. Just like we said about initiation, Christian initiation, just like when somebody's baptized, to grow in the faith. But that can't be done just alone. It needs to be done together as a couple, and it needs to be done by the community of faith. One of the things that I found is in the celebration of marriage, over the years of celebrating numerous marriages, really one of the things that sometimes people forget is the reality of what it is that they're stepping into. They don't recognize sometimes the sacrament, and to really not get caught up in what society wants and the consumption and the empty appearances. That's really one of the challenges. One of the real challenges is that I'm so caught up in the wedding preparation and all the things of the reception and all the situations that are going on there, that the central part of the marriage ceremony, which really makes the sacrament, gets lost. And I think it's important for us to really zone in on that part, because that's what really is key. In the preparation for marriage, the couple should be encouraged to make that liturgical celebration really a truly profound personal experience, and to appreciate the meaning of all the signs. When I have, and I'll speak, to a couple, really I'm speaking to them when I'm witnessing a marriage. They're the ones who are making the sacrament. I'm just the official witness for the church, along with the two witnesses who are standing there on either side. And it says, you come together in this church so that the Lord may seal and strengthen your love in the presence of the church's minister and this community. Again, the community is brought in. And Christ abundantly blesses this love. So we're calling to help people to grow in that love. But we ask them if they've come freely, if they're willing to love and honor each other for the rest of their lives, and if they're open to children. And if they say yes to all those things, then they enter into the vows. And sometimes they don't grasp what they're doing. Sometimes people don't grasp that. But it needs to be not only the individual preparation that comes from the priest and the marriage preparation that comes from the group, but it also comes from a reflection by the couple on what it is that they're committing themselves to in the sacrament. I take you to be my wife. I promise to be true to you in good times and in bad, in sickness and in health. I will love you and honor you all the days of my life. I take you to be my husband. I promise to be true to you in good times and in bad, in sickness and in health. I will love you and honor you all the days of my life. And it's the church who takes that consent. You've declared your consent before the church. May the Lord in his goodness strengthen your consent and fill you both with his blessings. What God has joined, men must not divide. There's a great significance to what was just done there by the couple. Jesus is now within that relationship, together with them. The one who drew them together is now at the center of that relationship as they're united in the sacrament of marriage. Sometimes people find that gets lost in all the trappings, and really, we as a community of faith need to prepare them for until death do us part. So really, Pope Francis is encouraging people to not concentrate just on the wedding day and forget the lifelong commitment that a person's about to enter into, that the couple's about to enter into. That's really what it's all about. Not just simply the day, but the lifelong commitment. But that day is an important day. There's no question about it. And in fact, that celebration can really be an opportunity to evangelize. Because those who prepare the couple for marriage really need to help the couple also pray together, to learn to pray with one another, because it's in that prayer, it's in that experience with one another, with Christ in prayer, that the relationship's deepened, that the relationship is taken to another point in Christ. But the liturgical celebration, there'll be many people who are there, and I've over the years I've asked couples, please not only reflect on the readings, but tell me what you want me to say in the homily. Give me why you selected those readings and what you would like me to say to the people who are there. It's an opportunity for the couple to reflect on how they can present the gospel message as a couple to all of those family and friends who are gathered, so as to evangelize them. Because ultimately, we're called to a deeper, more intimate relationship with Christ. And it comes in all sorts of forms. The preparation of marriage is a prime opportunity for the community of faith and for the couple to prepare for a deeper relationship with Christ in the sacrament of marriage. Thank you for taking the time to be with me this evening. And know that we here at the Catholic Apostolate Center are praying for you. If you have any comments that you put on Facebook, I'll be responding to them over the next couple of hours tonight. Thank you, and may the charity of Christ urge us on.